Like they say, behind every song is a story. With the Beatles, this has become a norm. Most of the Beatles' hit songs had stories attached to them. In its 55 years of existence, the song Strawberry Fields has deep-rooted meaning because it's based on the personal life story of Lennon. It was said that the band spent 45 hours producing about 3 versions of the track. Listening to the lyrics of the song, you can tell the song isn't as happy-go-lucky as the melody might suggest. In case you didn't know, the hidden story in the song lies in the childhood experience of one of the crooners of the band. We'll dive right into this detail, but before we do so, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exclusive content on the Beatles. The song Strawberry Fields Forever was one of the Beatles' 1967 major hit songs, even though they went through a rough phase the previous year. In the summer of 1966, the Fab Four went through a rough patch which caused their split up. They had what they thought would be their last US live performance at San Francisco's Candlestick Park. The Fab Four would eventually reunite for 6 more albums and one legendary, unannounced rooftop live performance, but that wasn't known in the summer of '66. For his part, Lennon made his way to Almeria, Spain to star in the black comedy How I Won the War. With long waits between shooting scenes, Lennon had plenty of time to write. In 6 weeks, he had a working version of the song that would come to define the Beatles' second act. This hit song, Strawberry Fields Forever, has long been considered one of the greatest pop songs ever recorded. It was released in February of that year as a double A-side single along with Penny Lane. The song peaked at number 8 on the US Billboard charts. In 2011, Rolling Stone named it the band's 3rd greatest song and the 76th greatest song ever. The band started the song process in November 1966. The band spent 45 hours in the studio, which spread over 5 weeks, creating 3 versions of the track. The final recording combined 2 of those versions, which were entirely different in tempo, mood, and musical key. It features reverse-recorded instrumentation, mellotron flute sounds, an Indian instrument called swarmamdel, tape loops, and a fade-out, fade-in coda, as well as a cello and brass arrangement by producer George Martin. For the promotional film, the band used experimental techniques such as reverse effects, jump cuts, and superimposition. The song was the first track the Beatles recorded after completing Revolver and was intended for inclusion on their forthcoming Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Instead, under pressure from the record company and management for a new product, the group was forced to issue the single and then adhered to their philosophy of omitting previously released singles from their albums. The double A-side peaked at number 2 on the record retailer chart, thereby breaking the band's 4-year run of chart-topping singles in the UK. In the United States, Strawberry Fields Forever peaked at number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100. To the band's displeasure, the song was later included on the US Magical Mystery Tour LP. When you listen to this song, written by John Lennon, it is truly a masterpiece. But what it isn't is a song about fields full of strawberries. The song is centered on the childhood experience of the songwriter, John Lennon. Looking at his biography, you could tell that Lennon did not have much of a beautiful childhood experience. The song is more about Lennon's insecurities and his tough childhood. The title of this song refers to the Salvation Army-ran girls' orphanage, dreamily called Strawberry Field, that Lennon lived near growing up in Liverpool. Unlike every other normal child, Lennon's childhood wasn't particularly a happy one. When he was a baby, his banjo-playing father, Alf, was rarely home and often away at sea as a merchant. Tired of his constant travels and not always being available for his family, John's mother Julia fell in love with another man and got pregnant with John's half-sister. This caused a rift in the Lennon family, with Julia's sister Mimi calling social services twice on her sister for raising John in what she called an unfit home. Eventually, social services handed John's care over to Aunt Mimi, and he spent a large portion of his childhood at his aunt's suburban Liverpool home in a town called Woolton. As of today, the house is now part of the UK's National Trust as a museum. John's relationship with his parents after that were tragic. There was no room for peaceful and cordial relationships. He did not get to see his father again for over 2 decades. John's mother was hit and killed by a speeding car while crossing a road when John was only 17 years old. According to Cynthia Lennon, John's first wife, while Aunt Mimi did care for John, she was not a woman for cuddles and praise. She was someone that believed in ruling with an iron fist. You could easily describe her as a strict disciplinarian. John was expected to be obedient, well-behaved, and groomed. Later, biographers discovered that he had a hard time making friends. It's little wonder that young John Lennon had a rebellious streak and would often go in secret to play in the gardens of his next-door neighbor, the girls' orphanage, Strawberry Field. In the song, there was indeed a strawberry field that felt like John Lennon's happy place. The history of Strawberry Field dates back to 1870, when the property was owned by a wealthy English shipowner named George Warren. On this site, he built a giant Gothic mansion that was in line with England's Victorian era, complete with an iron wrought gate, gardens, and flowers. In 1927, another wealthy ship magnate named Alexander C. Mitchell purchased the mansion and property. 7 years later, Mitchell's widow sold it to the Salvation Army. On the 7th of July, 1936, the home was opened as an orphanage for up to 40 girls. 2 decades later, boys would be allowed in, but throughout most of John's childhood, Strawberry Field was an all-girls orphanage. Note that the song title is Strawberry Fields, but the actual place is called Strawberry Field. And according to Lennon, that is not a place you would like to be in. Lennon also often attributed how Strawberry Field was representative of his childhood. On the outside, foreboding, but once he climbed over that wall, full of wildflowers and secretive gardens. It's also thought that he greatly identified with the orphans who lived there, considering that he felt abandoned by his parents. In 1980, he explained his childhood thinking. He said, "There was something wrong with me. I thought because I seemed to see things other people didn't see." The reactions Lennon got when he first presented this song to the group were awkward. Engineer Jeff Emmerich recalled to Rolling Stone that fateful moment. There was a moment of stunned silence, broken by Paul, who in a quiet, respectful tone said simply, "That is brilliant." Over about a month, the band tinkered and recorded the song. It is widely thought of as the most complicated recording the Beatles ever did. When it was released in February of 1967, it was exactly what McCartney said when he first heard the song John Lennon named after a Liverpool girls' orphanage. Everybody considered the song a brilliant idea and musical arrangement. Today, Strawberry Field is in a state of disrepair, despite continuing to be a tourist attraction for Beatle fanatics. In 2005, after nearly 70 years as an orphanage, it closed down and all the remaining children were transferred to foster families. While many of the original buildings and structures were torn down in the 1970s, a few remained, including the iconic red Victorian-era Strawberry Field gate until 2001. The gates, which dated back to Warren, were put into storage and replaced with replicas, leaving many fans and tour guides who rely on Beatles-related income devastated. Plans were announced in 2014 to turn the site into a training center for people with learning difficulties, along with a museum and artifacts dedicated to the influence this place had on the Beatles and John Lennon. However, Strawberry Field remains abandoned and mostly decrepit. In New York, a strawberry field was sited in honor of John Lennon. Set in Central Park in New York City, Strawberry Fields is a memorial to John Lennon, who was killed on December 8, 1980. The area consists of a 5-acre near West 72nd Street entrance and a mosaic theme to his 1971 hit, Imagine, where fans have continued to return for 4 decades to pay tribute to the phenomenal singer and songwriter. In 1996, the discarded first version of the song was issued on the Outtakes compilation Anthology 2. In 2006, a new version was recorded for the remix album, Love. Artists who have covered this song include Richie Havens, Todd Rundgren, Peter Gabriel, Ben Harper, and Los Fabulosos Cadillacs, featuring Debbie Harry. In 1990, a version by the Manchester group Candy Flip became a top 10 hit in the UK and Ireland. 55 years later, the song Strawberry Fields Forever has still been getting awards and making waves. The song is still making waves because of its brilliant musical symbiosis and arrangement. Compared to present-day songs, we can't say Strawberry Fields Forever is bad. This can easily be one of their most impressive hits both then and now. John Lennon considered one of his best songs, Strawberry Fields Forever, is emblematic of the dexterity of the Beatles, folding a carnival-esque Mellotron keyboard, the hazy, psychedelic strums of a Swarm Omdel, and Lennon's strangely ominous lyrics, "Nothing is real," into what is ostensibly a pop song. Strawberry Fields was so groundbreaking and influential at the time of its release that it spawned multiple urban legends. ranging from being the reason the Beach Boys' Brian Wilson gave up to confirming the conspiracy that Paul is dead. That's all for today's video, guys, but before we end, what do you think about the song Strawberry Fields? What do you think about John Lennon's childhood? Did he truly convey the message with his song? Let us know what you think in the comment section below. And if by now you haven't, ensure you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any new updates about the Beatles.